Congratulations, senior Graden Glodt, on an outstanding year. Graden, you anchored the defense alongside your brother Cael, Oliver Christensen, and Levi Dotton. What made your defensive unit so strong and cohesive this season?
I think the thing that made us so strong was the team chemistry that we had, because me, my brother, the other two defenders, Brody Oliver and Brody Foster, we all played together for the last 4 years, and we all just know what we're doing, and we can all trust each other, and we can all make sure that we have each other's backs, and that really helps.
Great. As a senior and veteran leader, how did you approach the younger players on and off the field?
Well, I just approached them with kindness, like in a friendly way. If you approach them in a friendly way, they're more prone to responding to you better, and they want to just follow you and work for you, and that helps a lot.
Yep. Graden, what does it mean to you to finish your career with one of the best seasons in Sturgis soccer history?
It really means a lot, because going into the season, we didn't really have that high of hopes. We didn't think we would be that good, but the team really came together, and we all just wanted to work for each other, and that really helped. Ending my high school career strong just was amazing.
Graden, what legacy do you hope your class of seniors leave behind for the future Scooper team?
I hope to leave behind a good example of hard work, and to show people the importance of dedication and how far your work can go if you really just put your mind to it.
Very good. And the final question, Graden, looking back, what was your favorite moment or favorite game for this season?
There were so many good moments throughout this year. All my favorite memories came from this year, between the Sioux Falls Christian game, the Stevens game, and the T-Area game in our playoff game. In the Stevens game, I scored my one and only goal. It was really amazing because all my teammates were hyping me up after, and it just made me feel amazing. And the T-Area game was probably the best one, because between Mason scoring 2 goals in the first 7 minutes, to our defense playing really strong, to Jaxon scoring that winning goal, it was really amazing.
Well, Graden, congratulations on just an outstanding 4 years of Sturgis Scooper soccer, and we wish you the best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Jaxon Dodson. What a fantastic season you had. Breakout year, setting school records for goals, points, and assists, and earning all-state honorable mention. How does this recognition, and what does it mean to you personally?
It feels great to be up there with those types of people, that history, especially with this team. This team was great. I mean, seniors and everything. It just felt amazing.
Good. So, Jaxon, what do you think contributed most to your success this season?
Definitely my teammates. You know, they're always bringing me up, rooting for me, wanting to score those goals and break those records. Especially, yeah, they're just like the backbone, always rooting for me, and I can always rely on them.
Jaxon, take us back to that playoff game, the first round of the Sodak 16 against the T. 14 seconds left. The game's tied 2-2, and you score the winner with 14 seconds left. What was going through your mind at that moment?
Yeah, I mean, we were up all game, and then to have them score that in 2 minutes left, you know, it's always devastating. It's hard to come back, but I missed a few chances earlier in the game, so I feel like I needed one, and then just got a good through ball from Cooper, Venjon, and then just finished it.
That was great. Jaxon, you're a junior, and you're going to be stepping into an even bigger leadership role next year. What are your goals for yourself and for the team in 2026?
My goal is just to be a better leader. I mean, we're kind of, after losing all those seniors, it's hard to come back from all that, and I feel like if we can bring them together as a unit and have a leader, I feel like we can we can crush those narratives, and yeah.
Good. Jaxon, what are you most excited about heading into your senior season?
I'd say I'm most excited about obviously beating those records that I set last year, but also to see the people that can step up into those defensive senior roles that were lost.
Very good. Well, Jaxon, congratulations on just an outstanding season, school record holder. We're really proud of you and looking forward to next year.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, congratulations, Tyler Lauder, on an outstanding season in your 11th season here at Sturgis. Season ended with an 11-4-1 record, which is the best record, I believe, in your coaching career here at Sturgis since it was sanctioned. The closest record was 10-4-1 in 2023, and a huge improvement from last year. Talk a little bit about this year's success.
Everything that kind of happened this year goes towards all the effort the athletes put in the off season. To get ready for a season, it's not just the first day of practice or right after the rally ends, we kick it up, or you start working harder after your first game. It's all these boys getting in the gym together, working out together, getting to the fields, telling each other, let's go for runs. And honestly, a lot of our upperclassmen put in a lot of work leading up to the season, and it just helped because as soon as we got into practices, they were ready to go, and it helped push the younger kids to, okay, I see what level they stepped up at, now I need to step up at. And you just kind of saw everybody fell into a role, and we started picking up momentum, and that's kind of the success here is our upperclassmen just putting in that work off season.
Great. Tyler, a preseason goal when we talked before the season was to host a first round playoff game, and the team met that goal, taking on the T-Titans. Talk a little bit about the final seconds of that game.
Yeah, I mean, the goal was short and sweet of just trying to get into the playoffs, host a playoff game, because we were 15 seed last year. We had a okay season last year, and it was, can we just build a little bit off of that? And we get into the playoffs, and everybody's probably heard that, that whole phrase of the hardest part about playing Sturgis is the drive over here, and all that motivation the players kind of had. And in that final, a minute 48 seconds left, they score a header. Their guy is a target, a magnet, and I just remember telling all the players to just keep going. We had so many looks in that whole game. And earlier in the game, we talked about this at that game, is that Dodson came off and was disappointed that he didn't have a goal yet. And I just reassured him that he's going to get one. Whether or not that was going to come true, I wanted him to know that I believed in him, and I wanted him to keep shooting because that's his most important. And he made a run. If you watch it from multiple angles, he's got 4 guys around him, 4 defenders, and he is able to make the biggest impact on our season by scoring 14 seconds left. I didn't realize how far out he was when he shot it, too. And he was top 18, and he just had the wherewithal to know that he had to do something at that moment for us to win.
Talk a little bit about the state quarterfinal match. The Scoopers were leading an exciting game at Jefferson, and at half we were up 1-0, and then in a heartbreaker, we fell to Jefferson. Talk a little bit about the ending of that game.
We were holding them very strong the whole first half. Their leading goal scorer was obsolete almost the entire game. He couldn't put a shot on frame. He was getting frustrated. Defensively, they were talking a lot about Jaxon Dodson, that he couldn't score with his left and force him to his left, and then he does anyways with his left. And the whole game, it just felt like we were doing everything right. Unfortunately, we had one of our players, he had 2 total fouls. They were both 50-50 challenges, and he got a yellow card on both of them and was sent off. We put ourselves in a position to get too many calls that affected us and gave them too much momentum in those situations, and they were able to take advantage of it. Despite that, we were down 10 guys to 11 for the last 25 minutes of the game, plus all of overtime, and we only lost by 1. I believe that if we could have held them, we could have finished out that game strong. And so the boys fought hard out there. Being down a guy is a difficult thing to do because that one person for them can rest a little bit when you're sprinting.
Yeah, exactly. In our preseason discussions, Tyler, you said that team culture remains the backbone of the program's success. Talk about this year's team culture.
We kind of stress on this all the time that at the end of the year, it feels like the biggest brotherhood you've ever seen. It's crazy. The very end of the year, we couldn't get a bus to drive. And so me and Coach Thor had to drive the boys there. And while we're driving there, I'm stressing out on the road because I don't want to drive. I have a big responsibility here. and you just see the bonding that everybody has. Everybody's getting along, from freshmen, sophomores, upperclassmen, and that's the team culture there, is the fact that I could just turn around, they're getting water, and everybody's having a good time, and then as soon as we get on the field, everybody's pushing each other to be better, and nobody's harassing anybody. Everybody's encouraging, and honestly, I have a formula and a system that I want implemented, but if the players don't buy in and carry it themselves, we have no success there, and they're the big reason our team culture is so strong.
We have 7 seniors. We're going to lose to graduation this year, losing a lot of experience. Defensive team in the backfield, we've got the Glodts boys, the twins, and Oliver and Levi. Talk a bit about your Scooper defense this season.
Yeah, we're going to be losing starting goalkeeper and a secondary goalkeeper as well, because we were rotating them too before injuries happened. We're losing 3 of our 4 starters, Brody Foster as well in defense. And that's a big loss for any team. We did this a couple years ago. We lost the same thing going into last year, and it was a struggle. And we came into this year where we had the strong defense, and we had no offensive players. We lost so many, forwards and wingers, and at the end of the day, we had new players that stepped up. And we're going to have that same thing next year. We'll find out the faces, and we'll find out, the skills of who's going to be there. But those legacies are going to be missed. The Glodts are constantly talking to everybody, and if I need some information getting out to the whole team, they're the ones that are going to communicate and make sure it gets there. Same thing with Brody Foster, and so they're deeply going to be missed, but I know that the stuff they've put through on the field will carry through to the next kids.
Talk a little bit about your offensive team. Again, we've got Mason, Brody, and Hampus. We had a really good offensive upfront players. Talk a little bit about those guys.
Yeah, 3 more players that we're going to be losing for starters going into next year. 7 starters out, and 1 player off the bench. It is a hard thing to transition. Not a lot of teams can bounce back from that because you like to have your chemistry. The most successful teams are the ones that have barely any seniors and they have a big junior class, and you can see them carry that for 2 years. Those guys offensively are going to be missed just because motivational. Hampus constantly, this is first time with us, and first time in this country, and just so encouraging to the players to just keep pushing forward. Mason is one of the funniest kids I've ever coached. If you've ever had a chance to talk with Mason, you just know what a joy he is to be around. And same thing, we're also Charlie Knutson as well, potentially is going to be leaving us too, early graduation. So a lot of midfield stuff prowess that we're going to lose. But again, it's the same thing with the defense. Those boys have been working with the underclassmen to help transition them for when they're gone, and they'll be missed as well.
Sure. So next year's team, we've obviously got a lot of big shoes to fill. What legacy do you think this group of seniors leave behind?
To never be counted out, to never count yourself out. No matter what it looks like of losing, high quality players that are everything to your team, to losing players weeks before the season starts that decide they're not going to come out and play soccer anymore and everything. You have to adjust on the fly. And so we're thankful for all the players that got us to where we are up into this year, and those boys, those seniors, they took that with them and said that we are going to work out more than we've ever worked out. We're going to train more than we've ever trained. We are going to be in the best shape we can, and we're going to communicate as best we can to help the next generation. And I think that all ties back into culture, and it's just such a healthy thing we have here.
Talk a little bit about the school record set this year. I know it was just announced today that Jaxon Dodson was honorable mention for the 2025 Boys Class A All-Soccer Team, and I know he set some records. You want to talk about that?
Jaxon Dodson was electric. 2 years ago, JV player as a freshman, 11 goals, and we talked about how crazy that was. Score 11 goals in JV doesn't happen. And before the season, we talked about replacing Carson Walter's shoes and who could do that, and it was Jaxon Dodson. That's my biggest guess. I think he could maybe fill the shoes, and he exceeded it. 18 goals in the season, and no matter what anybody says across the state, his honorable mention, he's a top 22 player in my eyes. He's one of the top 3 forwards in the whole state. Goals against T, Stevens, Jefferson, Sioux Falls Christian, Central, several teams that were in that state tournament that he was able to score on. And do it in dramatic fashion, do it with penalty kicks, with his left, with his right, against 3 or 4 defenders every single time. There's not a more persistent forward in the state than him. His honorable mention is a great step for him, and I think it's going to be motivation for next year as well.
Talk a little bit about how many goals he had this season, and I believe that's a school record.
18 goals this season, broke a school record that was just broke 2 years prior. That was just broke, from that Carson Walter broke from Jared Saylor, who had 14 goals before, and we see this progression. And I never think a kid can score that much. When Walter scored 16, I was like, wow, there we go. That's going to be such a hard thing to break. And then we have 2 years later, we have an 18-goal season. Not only that, he had 11 assists as well. So most points in the state of any player as well. And it just shows that his ability to grow, adapt, and get himself to that next level is why he was able to deliver those results. And on top of that, his teammates trust him tremendously.
Talk a little bit about your team captains. Brody Foster was a senior and did an excellent job, and Brody Oliver, a sophomore, was also a team captain.
Yeah, one of the most important things in my time is I've always liked to have a returning captain. That's very important. This was the first year we haven't had a returning captain due to circumstances. So having a sophomore captain, we'll talk about Brody Oliver first. He is one of 4 sophomore captains I've ever had. A great legacy of the Nelson brothers and Cael Dennis, and he's following those footsteps. And he really can, all those underclassmen really follow him. And he gets along with the upperclassmen, and you just see it. And when we go to voting for captains, us coaches have input, but I always ask the upperclassmen, juniors, seniors, who do you believe? And almost all the seniors said, Brody Oliver is the leader of this team. He's a future leader of this team. And they all instill this trust. And, you watch it out there during games. I've never seen a player get hit more by other opposing teams and just get back up and keep going. He does not quit on anybody. Brody Foster is somebody that just wants to do the best for everybody. If his role is to sit on the bench, he'll do that. If his role is to move positions after 2 games, he came up to me and, he's playing center mid, and he goes, I think I'd be more effective for the team if I was playing, right back. And so we tested it out, and he was right. He saw that wherewithal. And I think that's a leadership thing that people don't take into account, is that he took himself out of a center mid spot, which is ball to me all the time. I control everything. And he put himself at a space where he's like, now I'm just chasing all the time. And I think both their leadership abilities are just, I'm going to do whatever I can to help this team out.
Next season is only a short 9 months away. You've got 7 juniors on the roster this year that saw a lot of playing time. Talk about the outlook for season 2026.
Yeah, it's all about preparations of lessons learned. I think that's the most important thing. And I told the boys a lot this year is that failures only remain failures if you let them and you don't make changes. And success is only sustained if you work towards that success again. And so these players need to take the lessons from the previous class of getting in the gym, keeping their touches. Indoors already starting up, and all these players are already ready to go. They're barely going to take a break. And I think they kind of see, we were this close. If we win that game, we saw a road to the state championship. And so the next class, they have experience. There's a lot of good leaders there too as well, physical leaders. They just have to take that next step, and it's the same thing with every class behind them.
Well, congratulations, Coach Lauder. Best season record so far in Sturgis history of soccer, boys soccer, and we look forward to 2026.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.